Hi, I'm Aditya Rao and I'm a part of the Flaming Skull crew. This is my chance to voice my opinion and this chance can be yours too. Just send us a review of any gig that has happened in your locality or you have attended, and don't forget to mention your name. Send the reviews to tfspodcast@gmail.com and you can be featured on a podcast. Here's my review of a gig that I attended recently called Nemesis at Father Agnell's Vashi. The gig comprised of bands like Chronic Phobia, Zignema, Bhayanak Moth and Exhumation. The gig started off with Chronic Phobia set. They've improved a lot since they have come out. They were really good on that day. They have a new guitarist called Charan. The sound for them was low because of the prayers that were being held outside in the locality and only the on-stage monitors were on. Next up was supposed to be Exhumation, and Exhumation has been missing from the circuit since a long time and a lot of people were looking forward for this set. But unfortunately, it so happened that Exhumation ended up not playing at the show because of some internal band issues, and the end outcome was that Yash, their drummer, is no longer a member of the band. Next up after Chronic Phobia was Zignema. They had really good sound on that day and their act was really good. They had real good crowd response. There were like mosh pits on every song, and also the highlight of the set was their cover of Pantera Slaughtered, which they performed with Vinay and Sanit from Bhayanak Moth, and the cover was really insane. After Zignema was Bhayanak Moth, and it's really safe to say that they were the tightest act of the evening. This is the first time I'm seeing Bhayanak Moth with their drummer Jay, and he's done a fantastic job of replacing Rahul as their drummer. They were really entertaining. The crowd really loved the material they put out. The crowd response was phenomenal and they were really tight. They played their whole album and their album is out, so go buy it. I'm Aditya Rao. This was my review on Nemesis, which was held on 10th October 2009 at Father Agnell's Vashi. Stay tuned for more reviews and keep on listening to the Flaming Skull podcast.
Here's your chance to be a part of the voice cast. All you guys need to do is send in a review to tfspodcast@gmail.com and you will be featured on this voice pod.
Depleted Uranium.
tuned into the Flaming Skull podcast, and I'm your host, Malcolm Sones. The last track was Depleted Uranium by the Canadian band called FLH. FLH has been around since 1988 and has always had a lot of obstacles their way. Their discography includes FLH Demo in 1991, which was re-released in 1992. They then released an album titled Sacred Red in the year of 1994. And after 14 years, they came out with Darkness Remains, which was released in 2008. I hope these guys come up with some more amazing music. Their MySpace link is myspace.com/FLHempire and their website is flhempire.com. And here's more of the voice cast.
Hi again, I'm a part of the voice cast and here's my review on Mosh Mayhem. The gig started off with a band called Bloodshed, who are relatively new to the scene. They are a death metal outfit and they're pretty okay that day. They are influenced by Cal Corpse and 6 Feet Under, and I guess with more gigs they'll get better with their act. Up next was Atmosphere, and their set was good, but I've seen better performances by them. But the scene was that their guitarist Bruce broke a string and had his guitar replaced, and amongst all that chaos you could not really expect them to be top notch that day, but they did pull off a really good set. Up next was Devoid. They played a really tight set, and their set also included some new material from their soon to be released album, and I personally liked the material that they have put out. They were playing with their new guitarist Sanju, who I think is a perfect replacement for Keshav. After Devoid was Zignema. They played a really entertaining set and the crowd loved them. And really hats off to Mayank for his tirelessness for playing in 2 bands, and at the speed he plays at, I guess it must be a really difficult job to keep up. After Zignema was Infinite Redemption. They were, you can say, not so memorable throughout the gig, and I could see a lot of people walking out of their set. After them were the headliners Infernal Wrath, who totally ripped apart the venue with their heavy sound, and their set was just amazing, especially incorporating Indian classical music into their style of death metal, and also they sounded way better than they did at iRock. And about the gig was really well organized and the sound was madness. I mean, this is one of the few gigs that I saw where you had actual nice sound at a gig after a long time. This was my review of Mosh Mayhem, which was held on 15 November 2009 at Marine Center, Vashi.
The next track is Decipher by the Chennai-based band called Blind Image, of their latest album titled More Than Human.